The following podcast is an enticing media production. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You are now socially obligated to pour yourself a drink, and welcome to the Drunk Squirrel.
Hello there. How are you? Okay, looks like there's two waveforms, so that's good.
Whoa.
That
sounds a little like...
There's squiggly lines for both of us, so that's a good thing.
All right, I'm going to move on.
And I know I came in here earlier when she was like opening up the screen here, and she had like a big ass equalizer on the screen. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm suppressing you.
Wow.
And it's because that, one, my voice seems to project, and two, I'm using the better microphone of the two, so that, anyway.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one.
So she's like, you're just too loud. And I'm, yeah.
All right, before we, really start into it.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
Oh, so I'm going to let you... So we're drinking mead, first off, but you can explain where it's from and, because you brought it... You brought this bottle the last time we recorded, but we didn't open it until today.
Hey, Tony. Thanks for the mead.
Tony?
Yeah.
Who's Tony?
Tony is my brother-in-law.
Oh, so he...
Stole the mead?
He stole it?
No, I stole it.
Oh. I was like, well, that's... You just admitted Tony committed a crime.
No. See, he left his alcohol collection. He's got a whole, full bar downstairs. Oh. And he definitely left it unguarded.
This is a little like the bottle you stole from Craig.
Oh, that's the whole intention.
Okay.
So there's a second bottle as well in my house.
The intention is to... A second bottle of the mead or a second bottle of...
A second bottle of the mead.
Okay.
So this is from his collection from Silverhand Meadery down in Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. Really good stuff. If you've never had them, check them out. And
we will make sure we tag them in Facebook posts and things like that.
Yep.
Let them know that we're here.
And they make a whole bunch of different, all of it's mead, but different flavors. And they're really good. So
So we talked about this out in the kitchen before we came back here, and maybe we should have been in front of the microphones, but we are now. So this has a little bit of a chocolate note to it, and it doesn't taste like it looks, if that makes sense.
No, it's kind of... I like the deep amber.
Yeah, and the one thing that it has settled now, but the one thing that we noticed, you poured yours in the first glass and then poured mine, and they looked completely different.
I think that's because you had ice in yours. I'm still sticking with that one.
Okay.
There could have been some settling.
But I mean, it was immediately looked different. So the ice hadn't had a chance to dilute or anything like that.
Yeah, but you've got the extra aeration that's coming because you're pouring on the ice instead of just in the straight glass. And
so I think once I'm done with this glass, because we have more to pour.
Yeah, it's over there.
I'm going to have it without the ice because it's delicious with the ice, but I feel like this is definitely something you can drink room temperature.
It is. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because, And you brought out the fancy glasses. We have sniffers.
Oh, yeah. We have, we do it right here.
Occasionally.
We have glasses in the Tice house that I don't break. I break wine glasses. I don't break these because they're, these are a little thicker.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, just ask Nell. I literally break wine glasses all the time, and it's always when I'm washing them. They're so thin.
Yes, they are. You know what? Okay, this kind of leads into the topic a little bit. One of my favorite observed marriage traditions is out of Judaism, where they break the glasses. And Greeks and Jews, I think.
So they do it on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Because those glasses will never serve a higher purpose.
Okay.
And I love...
So once they use them, it cannot, you can't go up from here.
Right.
So you just get rid of them.
You break them because they've served the highest purpose. That's it. We're done.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I love that tradition.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Kenny.
But we're not going to break these when we're done.
No, we're not.
Because I have a set of 4, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, well, I will do my best.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, but yes.
All right. But here's the question. You have been married for 17 years.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
As of this recording.
How'd you do it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Let me start with an easier question. What was your wedding song?
Our first dance song was a song by Andy Griggs. He is a country artist, and the song is called She Thinks She Needs Me. And it's a song, basically, in a nutshell, it's a song about, he's singing about his bride or whoever it may be, that she thinks she needs him when in actuality, he needs her more than anything in the world. So that's what the song is about. And so that was our first dance song.
Did you pick that or did
Yes.
Nell pick? Okay.
Well, yes, I picked it. It was because it was something that was between us before the wedding. So it made sense that it was our wedding song because it was a song that we shared, early in our relationship.
All right, question 2.
Sure.
If you were to pick a song today.
Oh, wow. You really... It's how you know this isn't scripted, because he did not tell me this.
So, I'm asking you this because I've had this question in my head about 2 weeks, and I don't have an answer yet.
Something from AC/DC, maybe? No, I don't know.
Thunderstruck?
I was thinking... Wow. I think I need to think about that as the episode progresses, possibly. But, so much... So you can relate to this, right? So you've been married 16 and a half years.
Yeah, so I got married in April of 2008.
Okay. And we got married in September of 2007.
Yeah, so we're like 7 months apart on this.
Yeah. And as you know, what makes the marriage work from year to year is very different. Every year is different.
Every month, almost.
It's wild. And, while we may be very different in the way our families look, like you have 2 children, Nell and I have a cat. So those are very different family dynamics, but it still changes, constantly.
So
you're looking at something here.
I'm pulling up a playlist.
Oh,
because the closest I've gotten in kind of finding a singular song, I have a bunch of different songs that are like embodying different pieces of who Melinda is or what our marriage is, but the closest I've gotten to a single song, and again, I've been thinking about this for a bit, is Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol.
Chasing Cars?
Like, that's the closest I've kind of gotten in the past 2 weeks. I'm not there yet with it.
Okay. The journey is a wild one.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, marriage in general is a wild journey. I don't care who you are.
Well, and again, you highlighted a couple differences just between you and I, but those differences are a huge thing because part of what Melinda and I are looking at is, okay, she and I have been married for 16 and a half years. For 15 years and 9 months, well, it's a little less than that, but give or take, because Ray turns 15.
Oh, yeah.
We had 1 year where we weren't dealing with a kid. So what does that look like in a couple years? And that's a huge break point for a lot of marriages, is once you get to empty nester.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's, am I sick of this person or not?
You saying you're sick of Melinda?
Oh, God, no.
No. I'm just being antagonistic. I know that's not the case.
In 2 weeks, if I've disappeared, this is why. I am not sick of my wife.
No, neither of us are sick of our wives. But, it's...
But now, in saying that, I love you dearly, my wonderful wife. It's also fair to admit that there are things I know I do about who I am that drive her up a wall, and not in the fun way.
I would say the exact same thing, but it's mutual though.
Because they're
a marriage. It's mutual because it's both ways. It's both ways.
Okay, I love you, Melinda. Hairballs in the shower.
Oh, does she?
It's both her and Adeline. Hairballs in the shower.
So does she not get them out then herself? Is she like disgusted by her own hair?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But there are hairballs in the shower, and
Nell definitely asks me. So Nell and I are lucky enough that we have 2 separate bathrooms because we live in a house with 2 full bathrooms, and we're the only ones that live here other than the cat and her bathroom's in the basement. So, yeah, Nell would just come out every now and again and be like, can you get the hair out of my drain? And I'm like, I always say, it's your hair. Because it's sure as hell not my hair.
when I have to do that,
Yeah.
when the drain gets to that point, I'm gagging as I'm doing it.
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, that drives me nuts. I don't know why.
It's it's one of the reasons why you asked like why this works. It's one of those reasons because it doesn't bother me even though it's not my hair. Now, if it was somebody else's hair, like my wife, like it's her hair. That doesn't disgust me.
It doesn't disgust me that it's her hair. I love my wife's hair. I mean, that was one of the great qualities that drew me to her.
You just don't want it in the drain.
I don't like pulling it out of the drain.
I get it.
I
mean, it's not great.
No.
But I also understand that like they can't help it. And I don't have that issue.
Now,
Obviously.
the counterpoint that Melinda would offer up very quickly is when I trim my beard.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I try to make sure I get everything, but
So you guys obviously then are sharing a bathroom.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have... See, it's interesting how every marriage is different. Because Nell and I don't have this dynamic because we have separate bathrooms. The only time she goes into mine, I have really good lighting like above the mirror. So like before we'll go out somewhere, she'll go into the bathroom and turn like the big light on and really get a good look of how like her hair or her makeup or whatever it is. But other than that, she never goes into my bathroom. And I only go into hers to clean it.
Hey, there you go.
So that's... But it's just interesting how marriages, the dynamic is completely different from marriage to marriage.
It is. I mean, think about the individual uniques, quirks, and quantities that is an individual. Mm-hmm. And now you're trying to put 2 of them together, and both of them are going to find the pet peeves and, absolutely step on those.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just interesting. Marriage in general is an interesting concept, like over the years, because like... Who decided? Who was it that decided that you were going to, you're going to find this person and you're going to spend the rest of your life with them? Like, where did that first become like a thing? I mean, from a biblical standpoint, you can speak to this better than I can, but I don't know if it's that deep.
So from the Christian and biblical standpoint, it's Adam and Eve. It's that,
right.
God made Adam, and from Adam he made Eve, and intended it that the 2 are one. Mm-hmm. And that, the reflection that I see, and again, I'm speaking from my experience, my marriage, is how Melinda and I function together. We're separate, but not. And we work together. So it's that.
And to be, I'm not saying this because I think that people shouldn't be married. I mean, but I also don't think you like have to be married. It's the same as having kids, right? I feel it's the same way. If it's right for you, it's right for you. And marriage is the same way.
Right.
I would not envision my life without Nell. Like it's just that is my life, and I'm very, very happy that she's in it, and obviously she's the better part of it.
And I think and again, I work in a church, so my view is a little bit different, slightly conservative, is that, if a family is going to be functional and together, marriage is one of the best formats for that to be. You have a stability, theoretically, that's built into the foundation of the said family. Mm-hmm. That is, a mother or father or
sure,
whatever your pattern looks like. And then you have the kids that are able to lean on and be supported and learn from both parents.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I mean, throwing the kids into that
and
it changes the dynamic, right?
Right.
Because then, it's obviously not required that you be married, but I feel like raising them at that point is helped by that.
well, and again, that's the
stability.
primary perspective I'm looking at it from,
Yeah.
the kid side of things.
Yeah.
With like your and Nell's situation, you don't have kids.
No. Lucky doesn't care if we're married or not. She just wants sits.
Now, I think there's a greater stability that you get emotionally from being in a marriage than being in kind of we could break up at any time. I mean, that's still within a marriage. There's just more paperwork that
Yeah.
slows the process.
That's definitely true.
So,
Definitely true. Well, I mean, I can speak on this topic, I could speak to this because Nell was just away she was away for 3 days.
yeah.
She just came home on Thursday. And like all I did, I'm like, this is horrible. Like like Monday night I was a bachelor for 3 days, and on Monday night I made soup.
And then ate it for the next 2 days.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could have been like, I could have done anything. I could have gone out to eat and drank beers the whole time. I was supposed to go to happy hour with Craig, and then he was, his schedule just filled up. He's like, I can't do it. So,
Dude, give me a call. I occasionally have free evenings.
yeah. So Monday and Tuesday, I'm like, all right, I don't have anything going on. So Monday, I kind of I cleaned house, straightened up, did laundry, I made soup. Couldn't be more domesticated if you tried. But then on Tuesday, it's like, I probably could just go somewhere and have something.
So on the note of soup, I mean, come on, that's one of my favorite things to do in the house.
No soup for you.
Yeah.
I love making soup.
Oh my gosh, what did I made potato soup
Potato
last
soup.
week. Oh my
Potato
gosh.
soup. And we're hitting that time of year where
Soup season.
soup season, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's cooling down.
Yep.
So,
Soup, chili. Oh.
yeah.
What Melinda came back with a recipe for a soup that we made right at the end of the year last year. I'm excited to do it again.
What was it?
I can't remember,
Okay, cool.
and that's going to bother me. But I have the recipe at home in my book
Rob, that's really not good for the podcast, the fact that you can't elaborate.
on a soup recipe. I know.
Just say, this is the Drunk Squirrel, and soup has taken over.
I'm maybe
So
just over a half.
Is this stuff really strong? By the way, you mentioned it earlier that it was
It can be.
because it has no bite whatsoever,
Nope. It can.
which
It
is
can catch up to
which
you
is-
real quick.
probably a problem.
Just a little.
But anyway,
Yeah. Wait. Soup took over. But
making soup is a relaxing thing.
yes.
Yeah, because it takes a little time.
And I love the slow cooking aspect of it. And
Yeah.
I put mine in a crock pot to cook all day.
Oh yeah,
And just coming home and
yeah.
that's for
the
dinner.
flavors all really blend together very, very well when you do it that way.
okay, we're too domesticated.
Yep, the Drunk Squirrel podcast. We're teaching you how to make soup.
We still have our nuts, maybe? No?
No.
All
Nell's out visiting the farms and stuff, and I think she took them with her in her purse.
Yeah, when mine got disconnected.
I'm not. I don't have them at this point.
Yeah.
No. So, but yeah. So as far as being married and how we.
So I have played out similar things because Mel and I have had, we've never really had times when we're away from each other for too long.
Okay.
The most is a couple years back we would do a camping trip with the church.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I'd be away for a couple of days.
That was
That's the most we've been away.
Yeah.
So I've played out that idea of what would I do if I had 3 or 4 days where I was a bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes down to probably sit in the dark, eat rice and beans, and go to bed.
Well, I did a radio show one of the days, so that took up my time Wednesday night. I'm actually glad I had the radio show Wednesday night because it would have been 3 days. I probably definitely would have called somebody on that third day because I would have needed some human interaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had the radio show, and the only thing that stopped me from doing probably a 4-hour radio show that night was the fact that it was our nephew Jackson. It was his birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So we had a FaceTime call scheduled because Nell was in Delaware. I was here. They're in Ocean City. So we had a FaceTime scheduled so we could wish him a happy birthday, and it was like at 8:30. So
Gotta be done.
That sort of reined it in. Although if I'm pulling the curtain back just a little bit, I did not stop the radio show. I did the radio show the whole time, and I was loading songs as we were doing the FaceTime. So other than Nell, nobody knows that until now. But I didn't stop the radio show. I kept the live radio show going during the FaceTime call.
Maybe I'll own this later, but I'm working on something.
A radio show?
No.
Okay.
But something.
Another child?
No. No, those got disconnected. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
not good, but it is good.
I like the process, but the idea of like having a third child with the age gap.
You like the process. That was a very, very nice way of saying that you enjoy sex.
Sex is good.
It is.
But the idea of like having a third child with that age gap.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
No. Yeah, I agree with you because Addie is what?
12.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And it's okay. So, Ray will be out of the house, and theoretically Addie will be out of the house within a 6-year time frame. Yeah, I won't even be in my 50s yet, and we would be empty nesters.
You know what that means? You could just walk around naked. I mean, maybe you do that now. I don't know. That's weird, but,
Yeah, not with the kids home.
But if they're not home.
Hey, there's no reason not to walk from the shower to the bedroom.
Let it swing.
Yeah. But, yeah, I like the idea that in 6 years we're empty nesters, theoretically.
That's assuming that Addie is out of the house at 18.
Well, and
I mean,
that's assuming that Ray doesn't come back after college. And
that is true. And,
But at that point, it's, okay, you're mostly self-sufficient.
Right.
Bye.
Right.
You just need a bed to crash in. Okay.
Yeah. And also understand that this is our house, and if you see something you don't want to see, that's not our problem.
Move out.
That's not our problem anymore. Yeah, exactly. Move out. Those are your options.
Yeah.
But, I will say, like, as far as, like, marriage goes, it's, 17 years. I can tell you this, it doesn't seem like 17, so I think that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
It's not like it's like, oh my God, it's been a rough 17 years. It does not seem like 17 years. Looking back on it now, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been 17 years.
Yeah, the thing I keep looking at is like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I mean, I think that's very, very fair.
Yeah.
So, but.
And the other side that I look at is we got married in 2008. I was 22 when we got married. There's a part of me that's like, I look forward to when we hit like 23 years of marriage, and I will have spent more life with her than the first 22.
Than without.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're headed down that road too.
Wow,
how old was I? All right, we got married in 2007, so that would have made me 30? 87, 97. Yes. I was 30 when we got married. However, I was married previously.
Yeah.
So, but I was 30 when we got married. So she was around 23. She hadn't turned 24 yet. So she was 23.
I had no idea about that until like a year and a half to 2 years ago.
Really?
No, I had no idea.
I mean, it's not something I like.
Well, you don't advertise it, but
no.
It was
not
actually,
that it's a secret, but
it was actually when we were starting to talk about starting the Drunk Squirrel, and Nell had casually mentioned it to Melinda, and we were talking about Melinda and I were talking about a couple of things, and she goes, "And yeah, Kenny's first wife." I'm sorry, what?
That's real.
Kenny's first wife? You mean Nell? No. What?
That's not who that was.
So I had no idea about that. And yeah, it's a first marriage. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not at all, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, it's worked out in my favor.
Well, I mean,
because, not belittling anyone, but I'm quite happy. So.
And really, like, I look back and I go, okay, the relationships I was in high school and out of high school, I mean, they helped me get to the point where I could be a little more mature and capable
Just
of...
a little bit.
Yeah, well, it really was.
I mean, we're not that mature, even now, but...
No.
A little bit.
A little bit better than we were 17 years ago.
I would agree with that 100%.
But it helped me get to a point where I could be in the relationship with my wife and understand kind of where I was at and then what was going on and not train wreck the thing. I've tried. Not intentionally.
I think we all have tried. Using air quotes right now. You can't see this, but there was air quotes there. But I think we all have tried.
Well, and that's a beautiful thing that I've seen in my marriage where it's okay. There's grace that has to apply. And sometimes it's me giving grace, and sometimes it's me receiving grace, and vice versa.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes both ways.
Yeah. So.
Wow. This was a very deep episode.
Well, I mean, we're talking about our wives.
We are, definitely.
If we dig any deeper, we
No,
might be digging our own
I
graves.
don't think we can go deeper than this. But I will say, so since I'm looking at this, and we talked about this in previous episodes, the Coasters.
Three Legacies.
Three Legacies Pro Wrestling right there in Lancaster. WWE alumni. Ricardo Rodriguez, better known as his real name. Jesus Rodriguez. They're not necessarily an official sponsor of the Drunk Squirrel, but...
we determined that it doesn't matter. They are.
He's a good dude, and the whole organization that they're running there is giving back to the communities that they're servicing, and there's something else.
You know what I saw that I thought was awesome? That Three Legacies did this, I guess it was this week.
Okay.
The wrestlers reading.
Oh, yes.
Like, I love that. That was awesome.
It's very, both Jesus and Chris Dreisbach, who are, so they're co-owners of Three Legacies. Jesus runs Three Legacies.
Yeah.
He runs it. But it's very, they're both, almost knocked my glass over. They're both very passionate about giving back and helping, especially Jesus, because it's a community that has given him so much because of, the recovery that he had gone through and things like that. And he's very big on creating a safe space for folks to be, and and giving back to the communities that are supporting them. They're very deep into the Lancaster communities. But when they did the Lebanon event at the fairgrounds, they partnered with LCCM,
yeah.
And I have no doubt that they will be doing that again next year. So they already have a Lebanon show booked for next year.
Which is great because I really want to get to one of these shows.
Yeah, so they have one booked. You can go to any, you just let us know which one you want to go to. And so we go, as long as we're not booked.
You're there.
We're there. So in November, we're booked. We're not going to be able to make the November one.
When do you make your debut? Come on, you already ran the ring. Ran the ropes.
He is. So let me say this. Okay. Let me say this.
Yes, Kenny in a spandex.
It would be amazing to do that, right? It would be just fun. However, I have a lot of respect for professional wrestling because I grew up with it. I've watched it my whole life. And I wouldn't want to embarrass the sport by doing that. And these guys have trained their entire lives to be in that ring for that moment at any given time, and to have somebody just But like, oh, because you're my friend, I'm going to give you this opportunity to jump in this ring, and you haven't put in the work. I would feel bad.
That's fair.
I would feel bad. That being said, it would be amazing to have like a crowd of people and like to just do something. Like, I wouldn't even need to just be maybe a little bit part of the show, like be a gimmicky,
Well, and
like
sorry,
have somebody put me through a table or something as like an innocent bystander. It'd be totally cool. So Jesus, if you're listening, I'm willing to go through a table.
Sorry, part of what I was laughing at and thinking about was, well, there is a bit of a gimmicky thing. Maybe we need to have a squirrel grudge match.
We could.
Yeah. Just have it as sideshow. These are two idiots. Good luck.
The Squirrels can partner with Three Legacies Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
And
just get beat up a bit.
And just so, Jesus, if you're listening, all right. So there's some. Okay, we're talking about Three Legacies now. We're talking about us. But there's an amazing tag team in Three Legacies Pro Wrestling that I actually think is, these smaller independent promotions are stepping stones for a lot of these guys, right? To get to bigger and better things. And so they have a tag team in Three Legacies Pro Wrestling called South Philly's Finest. One of them is Jimmy Conway, and the other one, the name's escaping me right now, but like, I would be honored to have the shit kicked out of me by those two guys, because I really, really dig their characters. They're very, very good wrestlers, but they have the charisma that, you see people sometimes that if you watch wrestling enough, you see people that have it or they don't have it, and with wrestling, there's a lot of like the athletic ability, but a lot of what makes you successful from a standpoint of like being on television is the charisma. And these two guys have that. And there's another person in Three Legacies, and her name is Zoe Cannon.
Yeah.
She is a national fucking treasure. And I told Jesus, if she doesn't hold the Three Legacies Wrestling Championship someday, we riot. Anyway. I'm just saying that. And yes, I made this explicit.
Yes, you did.
I did. And I'm not afraid, and I'm not upset about it.
Okay, so, I mean, here you go. Here's the basic storyline.
Okay.
You and I come on as guest announcers.
Yeah, guest ring announcers.
And we do some trash talking.
Yeah.
And we got to get the crap kicked out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start talking about, hey, Zeus, I'm sharing this episode with him. Okay. I'll be like, we have some ideas. Listen to this episode.
I didn't do WWE, but, I did my grappling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
You did
You did amateur.
I did Roman Greco.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can sit on someone.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of successful WWE guys that have come from that back. Brock Lesnar was an amateur wrestler. Kurt Angle was an Olympic gold medalist.
Yes, he was.
Amateur wrestler. So, yeah.
How did we get from our wives
I don't know.
to WWE?
Well, we started talking about our coasters.
You brought the coasters up.
I brought the coasters up because we're supporting Three Legacies, and then now we came up with this idea, and now I have to share it with Jesus because
we got two trash-talking announcers for you, Jesus.
I mean, we won't be able to walk for 6 weeks afterwards, but I'm willing to get the shit kicked out of me.
Worth it.
By South Philly's finest.
It.
Let's just say that. I'm willing to. I'm willing.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway. All right.
I think that's kind of where we stop and land this one.
I do. This is a good amount of time.
Which leaves us with one question.
This episode.
Kenny's Nuggies.
For God's sakes.
Come on, you've been married for 17 years. What is like the one piece of wisdom you would share with anyone who is about to get married tomorrow?
The one piece of wisdom I would share with anyone that is about to get married tomorrow, I will say this unequivocally. That's the right word, right? Unequivocally? Yep. Okay, good. I'm not very eloquent with my words, but unequivocally, if you are head over heels with the person that you are about to marry, you are ahead of the game. Because when we got married, I was 100% head over heels from the moment that I met Nell. That's been documented. I've told that story to anybody that would listen, but from the second that we met, I was completely, I was blown away. And I continue to be that.
All right. So I got to ask. Like that first moment you saw, when was the moment you saw Nell and you went, I want to marry her?
What was the moment? It was in a bowling alley. It was at Canes Lanes in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Wasn't that the first time you met her?
Okay,
so you met her and you were like,
okay, no. Okay, that's not fair. I'm like, wow, when I saw her that time.
Okay.
But to be fair, if she was in jeans and a hoodie, and she was stunning. So that right there is enough. But when I knew that, like, she was like we were sitting at Hennigan's in Mount Joy. So Hennigan's is a restaurant. It's attached to the Clearview Lanes bowling alley in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. And so I bowled in the Lancaster Travel League at that point. She was there. She was there with her boyfriend. And
Kenny, you home wrecker.
we're not going to talk about that. And
I love it.
So it was during college basketball season. So we went over there. We had like drinks and whatever was going on at that time. And they had, I don't know what was on the TV. They had something on the TV. And the waiter came around and she asked them to, Duke and North Carolina were playing. I think it was Duke and North Carolina, or Duke and Maryland, or Carolina and Maryland. Some
Duke.
Yeah. And she asked them, she's like, can you put the basketball game on? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, she's literally drop dead gorgeous and she likes sports. Like, I was completely enthralled at that point. 100%.
Okay.
There you go. There's my answer.
All right.
That's Kenny's Nuggies of Wisdom.
Simple.
So if you can be head over heels about the person that you're marrying, that's a good start.
It's not a bad one.
No.
The only thing I would add to it, accept each other's failures.
Yeah, you have to. Because we're not perfect.
Nope.
Nobody is.
Yep.
So if you think it's going to be sunshine and roses.
No, it's not.
It's not. It can be mostly that. But it's
you're going to have the rough road, and that's okay.
Of course. Yeah, you are.
That's what it's getting to the other side of that.
100, as the kids say.
I don't think the kids are saying that.
Don't they?
I don't think so.
They used to.
I'm really trying not to make an age joke here.
Those kids used to say that.
Maybe in the 1980s.
Okay. No, it's not that far back. You're just full of shit.
All right, fine. Maybe in the 20,000s.
Okay. That had to be something.
20,000s. What the heck?
20,000?
I don't know.
How much mead have you had?
I had one glass.
Okay. Me too, actually. Yeah. And I've finished mine. So we do need to wrap this up so we can have some more.
Yep. All right. That's where we're ending.
All right. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Absolutely.
And we will see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you for listening to the Drunk Squirrel podcast.
Hey, Zeus. Kenny and I need punched in the face.
We do.
Make it happen.
Chops. We need chops.
Yeah, there we go.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to The Drunk Squirrel. No need to pay a tab. Just be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a line, thedrunksquirrel82@gmail.com. Cheers.